This week I made some pet balls out of concrete. Hi everyone, welcome back to the City Aperture channel. My name is Jose. I go by City Aperture. And this week I made a project out of concrete. You would have seen. I made some bowls for pets out of concrete. I made 3 different kinds. And I think I'm just going to jump right in to show you because I brushed it 3 different ways. One being make a form, pour the concrete, put some bowls in it to hold the food. And then the third one is that I took an existing plastic bowl and I filled that with concrete. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right into the project, show you guys how I did some bowls, and we'll go from there.
So before I show you how I made the bowls, I want to show you why I made the pet bowls. And here you can see one of my cats, the female cat, T'Challa, pulling her bowl, and she does this quite a bit, spills water all over the place. Also do it with their food bowl. So I'm going to make it a little heavier so she can't do this. First step is pick out the right concrete. I did not do that properly. Quick pro tip, always go for the easiest bag when picking up concrete. The next thing I did is I went to the local Swedish home store, the Swedish furniture store, to the SE section and found melamine there. You can buy melamine at Home Depot or Lowe's, but it's so much cheaper at the acid section of the IKEA. Here you see me cutting the melamine into strips for the walls of the form. Now you see me almost taping where I'm cutting. This is to avoid a ripping of the melamine at the cut. I'll show you a sample of that here. So here you can see how the melamine has ripped at the edges when I didn't tape it. And then I flip it over to show you the taped section. And you can see so much less tearing. Now, it's not a huge deal because we're going to put caulking at the edges, but it helps. Unfortunately, I lost the video of making the form or putting the form together, but basically I just hot glued it to, hot glued the walls to a melamine piece. I screwed them all together, and then I caulked the edges. And then here you see me pouring some of the concrete in. I'll show you how I was mixing the concrete, which it was a bit of a pain. This is probably the hardest part of it all. I was mixing concrete and a little bit of water at a time. And you can see the cats were interested in what I was doing. But yeah, I would mix it. I started mixing it with a drill and an attachment, but I found it easier to just do it by hand with a thick stick. So then, yeah, you just pour the concrete into the form and move it around to make sure we're getting all the edges. Just sort of would move it quite a bit to make sure it was throughout. And the one you see here in the foreground, this blue one, is the existing bowl that I just taped. And now I'm vibrating the concrete to try and get all the bubbles out. And then you just want to try and level out the top. And I also lost the image of removing the form, but here you see sort of the ends of it where I'm cleaning out the caulking that I had put around the edges. I will say in this bowl, which is the double bowl where the 2 cats eat from, I kind of failed a little bit in that the bowls were supposed to come out of the form, but they just did not want to come out of the form. This is the bigger water bowl. And I gotta say, this is my favorite one. This one I thought turned out the nicest. It's a big block. It looks kind of cool. And always clean up that concrete off of your desk. But here you have the finished bowls. Like I said, this one's my favorite one. It just looks very modern and contemporary. You can remove the middle bowl. I don't plan on ever giving them water straight into the concrete. I did seal the concrete with Thompson's water sealer, but the water will always be in the metal ball part of it. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Easily my favorite one. This double bowl is the one where I failed a bit in that now you really have to pick up the whole bowl. And it's not that heavy. It's the lightest one of the three, but the plan always was to take the metal bowls out of it. What I might do is I might buy a couple of more metal bowls that fit inside of this. That way you can just remove the bowls and not have to be moving the big block of concrete every time. And then finally, the one that I made inside the plastic form. This is sort of the easiest one because the form's made for you, right? And it's an IKEA bowl that I poured the concrete into it. And once it dried, I cut the plastic form out. Again, I'm not going to put the water in the concrete. I'm always going to put in the plastic part. So that way, when you want to add more water, you don't have to lift up the whole concrete bowl. You just lift up the plastic. And it looks good. It looks nice for being such a quick and easy thing. This would all you required was taping the edges and pouring the concrete in. But that's it. I finished them all off, 3 bowls, all at the same time.
There you guys go. So that's how I made the different bowls out of concrete. There's a couple of ways there you can look at it, and some easier than others. I also would say, I think the final note is that the concrete that I used is probably not the best. I couldn't find the one I wanted to actually, so I went with the one I had. It's not too bad, but it has a lot more aggregate than I wanted it to. So, look for other types of concrete. But all in all, a good experience. I've used concrete in more exterior applications before. Never quite like this, so it was new for me, and I had fun doing it. If you guys try it, send me some photos of how you did it, post them. But I had a lot of fun doing it. I hope you'll also try it, especially if you have a little cat like mine that likes to move her ball around. So, thanks again, guys, for watching. I'll see you next week with another project. If you guys like this project, then maybe you'll enjoy the podcast that I do with my 2 colleagues, Claudia and Ray. We discuss purpose-driven design, making, and manufacturing. We talk about architecture. We talk about all sorts of making. We have a project of the week. So please check it out. Again, it's called The Made Podcast. Thanks so much.